Welcome back to Learn SKN, and today we'll be continuing to look at management of business. And so last time we covered objective 3 and we looked at the mission, vision, statements, and we looked at the different types of objectives, the SMART objectives, and we looked at some strategic objectives, we looked at the operational objectives, etc. And so today we're going to continue in the syllabus. So this is the amended syllabus for exams starting last year, 2024. And so we're looking at the updated syllabus. And so within the syllabus, we're looking at today the SWOT analysis. And if time permits, we'll look at the strategies, Porter's business strategy options, cost leadership, differentiation, focus, etc., etc. So we look at those if we get time. But so let's just jump into it one time, looking at the SWOT analysis. So what exactly is a SWOT analysis? What is a SWOT analysis? I mean, I'm pretty sure you've seen it bantered about out there. So what exactly is it? So it's an acronym for strengths, weaknesses, opportunity, and threats. So a technique that enables a group or individual to move from everyday problems and traditional strategies to a fresh perspective. So in essence, it helps you to look at your situation, frame your situation using these 3 different headers: strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. A SWOT analysis looks at your strengths, weaknesses, and opportunities and threats your business faces, right? So you're able to now zone in and be more specific about what you're looking at, be more intentional about what you're looking at as a business. So you're looking at your strengths. What are the strengths of my business? What are the weaknesses that I face? What are the opportunities out there that my business can, jump on? What are the threats that might be able to cause problems for my business now or in the future? And so you're able to frame your situation in that particular paradigm, in that particular box, through that particular lens of your strengths, weakness, your opportunities, and your threats. And so it helps you, instead of just going crazy, like you don't know how to start, it gives a guideline as to where to start to view your business, or even in your personal life, right? Your personal situations. Give you an opportunity to see them from a particular lens, particular perspective. SWOT analysis. The SWOT analysis framework is a very important and useful tool to use in marketing, management, and other business applications, right? So imagine you're launching a new product. Look at that later on. You're launching a new product. So you have to look at the strengths, the weaknesses, the opportunities, and threats for that new product that you're trying to launch in terms of marketing, right? So you're launching a new business, same way. You can see through that lens. As a basic tool, its mastery is a fundamental requirement for marketers, entrepreneurs, or business persons. A clear understanding of SWOT is required for business majors. So you are doing the entrepreneurship course, or you might be doing management of business in general. And so this is a thing that you must touch. And even if you go to the next level, go to university, you are going to come across the SWOT analysis again. And so knowing it now is an advantage for you in that regard. So SWOT analysis, we already said what the acronym is about. So a technique credited to Albert Humphrey, who led a research project at Stanford University in the 60s and 70s. So you see the genesis of the SWOT analysis right there. Planning tool used to understand strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats involved in a project or a business. Used as a framework for organizing and using data and information gained from situation analysis of internal and external environment. So this analysis, the SWOT analysis, can be utilized for both looking at what's happening within your organization and what's happening in the industry or the economy on a whole around your organization. So it is very, very versatile. It's like a switchblade knife for your business. So let's look at, so like I said, you can look at it from internal, external. Now, within the acronym, you have things that represent internal environment and things representing the external environment. So when you're looking at your strengths, we're talking about internal strengths of your business, your project, whatever, the internal strengths, things that are more within your control, within the organization itself. Your weaknesses within the organization, the internal environment, what's happening inside the business, within the project that can be seen as a strength for that project and a weakness for that project, as a strength for that product, as a weakness for that product. So when you're launching something, so even in marketing, you're looking internally, looking and say, okay, what are our strengths in this organization within to launch this product? You might say, okay, we have some good persons who have, real excellent at social media marketing. They are some of the best at IG, at WhatsApp, at Facebook, that kind of thing, right? Or the reverse could be true. That one of your weakness might be, okay, we want to launch this product, but some of the people within our organization kind of out of touch. They're kind of older, and so they don't understand this new era of social media marketing. So you can see how something can be a strength, can be a weakness, is based on the internal environment. It can either be a strength or weakness, especially when compared to what others in your industry is doing. So this internal environment speaks to your strengths and weaknesses. Outside of the organization, you have the external environment. So you look out and say, okay, opportunities, threats. So you're launching a product. What are some opportunities out there? Perhaps you're launching maybe, let's say, a healthy product. Organic this, gluten-free, whatever. Opportunities, a lot of people start on this health bend right now. So they're into the healthy eating thing. And so therefore, let me jump on that. You might look at things like maybe solar panel production or AC units, whatever. You say, okay, what's going on outside? Climate change. Place getting warmer all the time. You might want to chill back, relax. So let's jump on this AC bandwagon thing, right? Threats. Could be things like government regulations, right? Look at right now in America, Trump inauguration, he's the president, and so they're talking about crackdown on immigrants. I'm pretty sure for some farmers right now, they're saying, oh my goodness, threats, because my labor force is made up of a lot of immigrants. And so therefore, that might be a threat to my farm business, etc., etc. So you can see where external things that you can't really control can become a threat. And so one of the aims of the SWOT analysis is to see where you can turn weaknesses into strengths and threats into opportunities. That's one of the aim of the SWOT analysis. Let's lay it out. Put all the cards on the table. What you have to be open when you're doing this SWOT analysis. You have to be open with yourself and true to yourself. List the weaknesses, list the strengths, opportunities, and threats, and then you're able now to see where can I go from here to turn these weaknesses into strengths and these threats into opportunities. So that's why the SWOT analysis is so crucial, because it tells you exactly where you are in that moment and where you need to be able to take full advantage of certain things. The weaknesses, turn them to strengths, threats, turn them to opportunities, etc. Right? So you have the internal view and your external view. Strengths now. Let's look at some example of strengths. Characteristics of the business or team that gives an advantage over others in the industry. That's the core competence, strength. These are what gives advantages over others in the same industry, right? So those are your strengths, things that you can build upon, things that you can utilize as your advantage, your competitive advantage. Positive, tangible, intangible attributes internal to an organization. So you can have strengths like your customer service is very good. You can have strengths like your time management, your cost cutting measures. They are none better than others out there. So now you're able to do what? If you can cut costs, you're able to sell your product at a certain price and you increase your margins, right? Or you're able to cut prices where as a competitors, they have to keep up the price and maintain the price because they don't have the same internal strengths as you do. Beneficial aspects of the organization are the capabilities of an organization, process capabilities, financial resources, products and services, customer goodwill, and brand loyalty. All those are strengths because some companies just living off of their customers loyal to the brand. Right? So these are some benefits that not everybody would have. There are some people just love the Nike, love the Hoka, love the Adidas. And so there's a reason for that. Look at Apple versus Android. Some just love the security attached to Apple. Some just love the enclosed ecosystem. Some just love the aesthetics. Right? So those are things that you can see as a strength. If you go around and look at companies, you can even in your minds look at them and say, okay, I could see where their strengths lie. I could see why, look at Netflix, strength of Netflix compared to others. A lot of options there on Netflix. Netflix do their own production. They have productions overseas. You see all these Korean shows that went under the lookout. So they have that reach, especially for the fact that they were basically the first to the streaming market in a sense, right? So benefits. Examples, abundant financial resources, a lot of money, right? Right now you look at, let's say looking at gaming industry, Microsoft versus Sony. Microsoft's strength, they are backed by $1 trillion company. The market cap is huge, Microsoft as a company. Sony, they're kind of struggling in a certain way. So some companies have that large war chest, as they call it, behind them. That's one of their strengths, right? Well-known brand name, economies of scale, lower cost, raw materials or processes. So maybe some persons have a different way of doing things that can carry down their costs compared to the others. So you're more efficient at doing certain things than other companies, right? So you have your what do you call that? Your comparative advantage. Superior management talent, better marketing skills. So all those examples of what can be deemed a strength in an organization. Then we have the weaknesses. Characteristics that place a firm at a disadvantage relative to others, right? So this detract the organization from its ability to attain the core goal and influences its growth. Weaknesses are the factors which do not meet the standards we feel they should meet. However, weaknesses are controllable. They must be minimized and eliminated. Examples, limited financial resource, weak spending on research and development, very narrow product line, limited distribution, higher costs, out-of-date products, technology, weak market image, poor marketing skills, limited management skills, under-trained employees. So you can see what we're talking about when you look at weaknesses within the organization. So if you're true to yourself, you're being honest, and you look and say, okay, maybe we ain't got the best customer service. So that's a weakness. People might not like how we deal with the customers. Maybe our aftermarket services are not the best. Maybe our financial position is kind of weak. Company not doing the best, can do better. So you can see maybe we don't have any patents, or copyrights or anything that we can really hold on to generate funds. So you can see where weaknesses might exist. Look at companies out there. If I'm using the analogy for the gaming industry again, Sony, they are very good at single player games. Microsoft still struggling, right? You look at Android versus Apple again. You see that's one of the weaknesses of Android is that, well, it is all around. Everybody who doesn't have an iPhone, they use Android. So you have from Samsung Galaxy S up there, all the way down to low quality, cheap, ZTE, blue, whatever phone you might want to call it. So some people might tie Android with poor quality, with the poorer ownership, that kind of thing. So you might have a stigma attached to it because it's so popular out there. So they have different things that you can see that might be a weakness to certain organizations. And you can look at some organization out there and say, okay, that's a weakness right there. Opportunities, again, external now. Looking at things outside of the organization. For example, opportunities include chances to make greater profits in the environment. External attractive factors that represent the reason for an organization to exist and develop, right? Exist and develop. Arise when an organization can take benefit of conditions in its environment to plan and execute strategies that enable it to become more profitable. Organizations should be careful and recognize that the opportunities and grasp them whenever they arise. Example, rapid market growth, rival firms are complacent, changing customer needs, tastes, new use for products discovered, economic boom, government deregulation, sales decline of substitute product. So you can see, like I explained before, some of the opportunities out there. People going more healthy ways, so let's create something healthy. Persons are now making more money, economic boom, so therefore they have more money to spend on luxury things. So we jump on that, right? Like I said, rivals are complacent. You look at what happened again in some of the largest markets out there, right? When you saw, the streaming thing was coming on board, Blockbuster said no, that in the future what happened? They don't exist no more. Netflix took over, right? Because you cannot really rest on your laurels when you're a business, right? And so sometimes you realize that, okay, companies are innovating, they stick to what they know, and then others see blood in the water and they jump on and say, okay, they're not doing this, let me jump in and going. Look, for example, with Twitter, X, and Blue Sky, right? Blue Sky saw that Twitter was becoming basically a cesspool, a negative sphere, and so they said, okay, let's create an alternative that can have proper discourse without all of the negativity, the misinformation, etc., etc. Right? Even Facebook jumped on that bandwagon. They created Threads because they realized more and more people are like anti-X because how Elon Musk operates and that kind of thing. So they jump on that. Right? The EV movement. Tesla started this EV thing, well, made it bigger, right? And then a lot of companies now jump on the EV movement because persons wanting to be more environmentally friendly, more sustainability, that kind of thing. And so they saw that, and now GM making EVs. You see EV Mustang, EV Hummers, those kind of things happening, right? Hybrids. So you have to scope out and see what's happening out there in the industry and jump on those opportunities. Right? Sometimes you see older persons companies realize, okay, Facebook, for example, the average Facebook user, 35 and up, young people are coming up. What do they need? Okay, let's get this IG thing going. So they bought out IG, that kind of thing. WhatsApp, let's get that done. Right? So look at what's happening out there and jump on these opportunities. Then we have the threats. External elements in the environment that could cause trouble for businesses. External factors beyond an organization's control arise when conditions in external environment jeopardize the reliability and profitability of the organization's business. Compound the vulnerability when they relate to weaknesses. Threats are uncontrollable. When a threat comes, the stability and survivability can be at stake. Examples: entry of a foreign competitor, introduction of new substitute products, product life cycle decline, changing consumer needs, tastes, rival firms adopt new technologies, increased government regulation, economic downturn. Right? So these are things you can't really control. Maybe try your best to weather them and try your best to see where you can turn them into opportunities. Right? So a lot of persons in the Caribbean right now, a lot of local businesses are on the trip because Indian persons are coming in to set up shop, Chinese coming in to set up shop, and they're disrupting the local space in terms of, stores, supermarkets, etc., etc. Right? And so, as a small island, we have a lot of threats from the international scene. A lot of those larger companies can come in and just, destroy some of our local industries. Economic downturn, right? Recession happening, things a little tight, things brown. And so therefore, companies would stand to lose money, lose sales, that kind of thing. Look at what COVID did to a lot of companies, right? Basically bankrupt some of them. Whereas some had COVID as an opportunity, like delivery services, right? They realized COVID, nobody want to go out. And so you had the increase of deliveries to homes, and, a lot of people who were not online are online before. And so you kind of force the migration of certain firms into the digital space. So you have to see the threats and try your best to stymie them, try your best to, survive, stabilize the organization. Because again, some of them you can't do, but you have to, see the silver lining and try to turn some of them into benefits for your organization. Those are the threats. So the aim of a SWOT analysis again, to help decision makers share and compare ideas, to bring a clearer common purpose and understanding of factors of success, to organize the important factors linked to success and failure in the business world, to provide linearity of the decision-making process, allowing complex ideas to be presented systematically. So you can see, it helps you to, as I said before, frame your position in the industry, in out there, your business, in a way that you can easily make decisions. It helps with decision-making process. It helps it. Because if you realize, okay, threats, weaknesses, let me see how we can bolster this, how we can change this, how we can even take full advantage of our strengths and full advantage of any opportunities out there. And so this analysis helps you to understand better where your positions are, what's there to deter your progress? What's there to enhance your progress as an organization? And so you can see where this analysis can be very crucial to any organization. Right? So who needs SWOT analysis? Basically, businesses, even you in a personal life, you might have a decision to make, and you might have to sit down and say, okay, what are the strengths, weaknesses, everything of this particular decision I'm trying to make? So, job holder, when supervisors has issues with the work output, assigned to a new job, new financial year coming up, fresh targets, job holder seeks to improve performance on the job. So you can use it to back check and say, okay, this new upcoming financial year, this new year, what were my strengths last time? What are some of my weaknesses? What are some opportunities in the organization? What are some of the threats? And you can use those things to, again, give you a situation analysis of where you are as a job holder. Of course, business units, like I said, example, marketing unit, they can use this when launching new products and those kind of things. And then companies can use it, again, to understand what's affecting, what's impacting their bottom line, what's impacting their revenue, their expenses, what's impacting their market share. So it gives a kind of macro view of what the company, where the company is in particular in an industry. So you can use this as a bird's eye view to see. And again, you have to be honest with yourself. Understand what's happening. Don't try to sugarcoat anything. Right? So understand why things are going down, why things are going up, what can I do to improve, what's not happening, those kind of things. So that's some of the reasons why you might need to engage in the SWOT analysis, right? And you can see who needs SWOT analysis. So workshop sessions, they use that. Brainstorming meetings, you can use the SWOT analysis to, brainstorm ideas, especially when as it relates to your threats and your weaknesses. Strategic planning, how can I capitalize on my strengths? How can I jump on these opportunities? How can I minimize the impact of threats, etc., etc. Product evaluation, be honest about the product. Is it doing what it's supposed to do? Is it overachieving, underachieving, that kind of thing. Look at the competitors. Outline what advantages they have over you, what you have over them, those kind of things, right? So all of these things, do you see how much of a Swiss Army knife this SWOT analysis can be in business, in personal life, in various aspects of business? Launch a product, decision making in the business, product evaluation, etc., etc., planning, brainstorming. So you can see how important and crucial and how much of a important tool the SWOT analysis is. That is why it's still one of the premier ways to go when you want to do a quick analysis of your situation, a quick situation analysis. SWOT analysis can be ripe for that, right? As you realize, it's been out since the 70s, 60s, 70s, and it's still in full swing today, which means it's very useful, right? Into how to conduct a SWOT analysis, analyze internal and external environment, perform the SWOT analysis and document it, and prepare for the action plan. So we already know what is internal, what is external. We know internal includes the weakness, the strengths, external, opportunities, and threats. And of course, you document those things, right? You perform the analysis, you document those things. Right, so select contributors. Expert opinions may be required for the SWOT analysis. Establish objectives, purpose of conducting the SWOT analysis. It may be wide, narrow, general. Right? Create a workshop environment, encourage an atmosphere of conducive to the free flow of information. So you want people to just be honest, as I said before. Be honest, put it out there. Let's really look at ourselves, put a mirror up to ourselves so we can see how we are going about this thing. Allocate research and information gathering task. Background preparation can be carried out in two stages. Exploratory and detailed information on strengths and weaknesses should focus on internal factors. List your strengths, list your weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Evaluate listed ideas against objectives with the list compiled, sort, and group facts and ideas in relation to the objectives. So you can see you're going to be led. You don't have to carry it out. You're still in school, so you don't have to really carry out this, but just FYI for how it might look in a particular setting, right? Carry your findings forward. Make sure that the SWOT analysis is used in subsequent planning. Revisit your findings at suitable time intervals, right? So It's just to give you an idea of how it might be carried out. And as a result of the SWOT analysis, you prepare your action plan. Things must be addressed immediately, things that must be addressed immediately, things that can be handled now, things that should be researched for further investigation, things that should be planned for the future. So you can break them down into those categories. So it's actionable, right? It's an action plan, so you know when to take action on what in the time frame. Everything is not created equal. Some might be more important than others. Some downside of the SWOT analysis can be very subjective. To people really come up with the same final version of the SWOT. Use it as a guide and not as a prescription. As I said, it's a guide. Because somebody might view something as a strength that they view as a weakness. You might say, okay, that's a strength in our company. Somebody might say, no, that's a weakness because it's subjective. Right? That's why you have a discussion. May cause organization to view circumstances as very simple due to which certain key strategic contact may be overlooked. Right? So it sounds simple. And so you might say, okay, man, that's something we could easily work on and not take it as serious as it should. Categorizing aspects as strengths, weakness, opportunity, and threats might be very subjective, as there is great degree of uncertainty in the market. Because in an instant, things might change. What were your strengths can become your weakness. What were opportunities can become threats, just like that. An election can change everything, right? Maybe one of your strengths was that you have good people in certain offices. Then election change, you party out, all of a sudden, no news for you. Weakness for you now, not information. You don't get information, right? Can be effective. SWOT needs to be conducted regularly. To be effective regularly, the space of change makes it difficult to anticipate developments. The data used in the analysis may be based on assumptions that subsequently prove to be unfounded, right? It lacks detailed structure, so key elements may get missed. So those are some of the downsides to it. It's not perfect, but it's still a starting point for any organization. All right. So do's and don'ts. Do's: be analytical and specific. Record all thoughts and ideas. Be selective in the final evaluation. Choose the right people for the exercise. Choose a suitable SWOT leader or facilitator. Think outside the box. Be open to change. Like I said, be honest. Be straight in what you are looking at. It doesn't serve you well to try to sugarcoat and, not be honest with what's happening. Because if you bury your head in the sand, it's going to be bad for your organization. Try to disguise weaknesses. That's what I'm saying just now. So don't. It's a weakness, it's a weakness. Don't feel as though you're too prideful and say, no man, that ain't a weakness. That's a strength, right? Try not to disguise it. Be honest, be open. Merely list the errors and mistakes. You have to go more in detail. See what they are and look at the positives and not just the negatives. Do not lose sight of external influence and trends. Don't allow the SWOT to become a blame lane exercise. Don't ignore the outcome at a later stage of the planning process. So do's and don'ts of the SWOT analysis. But that's it for now. That's the SWOT analysis in a nutshell. So we have covered that objective from the syllabus. So we covered the SWOT. So next video is going to be based on Porter's business strategy. So you know what to do. You like, subscribe, stay tuned for the next video from Learn SKN. Alright, so that's it for now. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.